everyone, welcome to Handmade. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Samantha. Today we have a very exciting collaboration video with Katrina from Create Something Pretty. Katrina is a fellow Aussie YouTuber who puts lovely videos out every Friday and has been an absolute pleasure to work with.
So after a little bit of deliberation, we decided that we would do a dress using fabric from our stash and a commercial pattern. So I think that we're a little bit renowned for sewing dresses.
Yes.
So we were quite excited to be doing a dress, and although Katrina does have a large stash of Big 4 patterns, she doesn't often make them, so she was really excited to have an excuse to make one of them up. We've been working on this for a long time, so it's been lovely to get to know Katrina and chat with her.
Originally we were both going to use Butterick patterns. I was going to use this one, the Butterick 6940, which is a lovely knit dress. I was going to make this option here. But, I started looking at the measurements and it just became so confusing. The waist measurement was tiny, but the rest of the measurements seemed to be fit with my measurement. And then when I looked at how much ease there was, they seemed to be enormous. So in the end, I just couldn't decide which size I was going to make, so I decided that I wouldn't make this dress for this particular collaboration.
So I started making a dress using this pattern, which is the Butterick B6676. So although it's a lovely pattern, the fabric that I made it in was sort of a peachy pink colour, and it just did not suit me. It did absolutely nothing for me.
No, it didn't.
And also, this bodice here, it just didn't quite fit right. The way that the darts were, they were quite long, and the bodice just didn't fit me properly, so I decided to abandon that one. I decided that I would hack a pattern that I already know is good. So I did the New Look 6696. But it was just an absolute disaster. So in the end, I've made this pattern here, which is a vintage one, and it's the style 10H3. So this is the dress that I was making for the Precious Fabrics Challenge. So I have actually made that for this collaboration. And then Mum tried my dress on, and she decided that she would do the same dress with a few fit alterations just to make it fit her a little bit better.
So this is the dress that I've made, and I used this beautiful, sort of a navy, and then it's just got these little daisies on there with light blue and pink. And I've loved this fabric for quite a while, and I haven't known what to make with it, so I thought this was actually a really nice dress to make with it. So when I tried Caitlin's dress on, the bodice actually fitted really nicely, but it was just a little snug around the waist area. So we had a bit of a chat about it, and we decided that we would just grade it out slightly at the waist area. So after making up the dress, it still actually didn't fit particularly well. It was just still a little snug around the waist area, wasn't it?
Not only that though, but just where the sort of seam between the bodice and the skirt was, there was just like a little bit of bunching at the sides.
Yes,
which
there was.
Made us think that maybe that there was just too long.
Yeah. So we sort of folded up the top bit, and that actually made it look a lot better, didn't it? So then in the end we decided that if we cut off an inch off the top of the skirt pieces, it should be perfect.
Unfortunately, that resulted in unpicking all of the work that you'd done.
Yeah, well, the way the dress is constructed, we actually had to unpick the whole dress, which was quite sad. Once I did that, it actually fitted quite nicely. So this is my finished dress here. So it's got these beautiful ties that come around and tie at the back. Actually, that was another thing with Caitlin's dress. We felt like the tie was just a little bit too short, so we lengthened the tie a little bit to make it a little bit longer. So it's just got the bodice and then the skirt that comes down from it, and it's just a 4-panelled skirt, and then a zip in the back. Originally I decided that I would like to use, like on the pattern here, just do a little contrasting bit up the top. And I chose this beautiful magenta fabric, and it did look quite nice, but the more I looked at it, I just thought, that's all I can see. It's actually detracting from the dress, whereas I thought it would sort of complement the dress. I took that out before changing the dress the second time. So I decided that I'd go with this one, where it's just got the little bit of lace around it. And I actually really like it now with the lace. I just felt, because the fabric was quite dark, that it just needed something. So I've just put this little white lace around the edge, and I really, really like that effect.
I think that it actually adds to the vintageness of it.
Yeah, I think it does too, yeah. The thing I've learned from this is that you really need to take notice of the pattern, the photos of the pattern. Because at the time, I didn't realise, but the sleeves are very, very slim fitting. They're quite a slim fitting sleeve, and I was not what I imagined they were going to be like. So yeah, they're quite a slim fit, and then they've got this beautiful cuff on the bottom. I really like the detail of the cuff, but I don't particularly like the sleeve when it's on. It feels a little tight, like it's not a nice sleeve to wear. So I think that I may end up changing the sleeves at some point. I mean, it looks pretty, but I just don't really like it when I'm wearing it. So the other thing that I didn't realise was the neck is actually very wide. To me, on the pattern, it doesn't look immensely wide, but it actually is when you wear it. If you can see there. I had visions of it being more like the S8883, which is the ones we're wearing today, sort of a little higher and just not as wide. So I don't really like the neckline. I'm just wondering if anyone has any hints about how I could actually change it to make it less wide. I thought maybe I could put a strip of the fabric around the edge and that might improve it. But if anyone has any ideas of how to fix that, because I don't really feel comfortable wearing it because the neck is so wide.
It is a little bit impractical.
It is, isn't it? Yes.
So this is my dress that I made. So this is, as I said before, the fabric for my Precious Fabric Challenge. So the fit on me is quite good, I would say. So I decided to raise the shoulder seams by 1 centimetre and also take in the side seams on both sides by 1 centimetre. And I think that really helped with the fit. It was just, I find that quite often that I need to raise the shoulders with patterns.
Yeah.
And that just made the fit on the bust a little bit better. So this square neck here, neither of us could get the facing in there. It just seemed impossible, like it just didn't fit.
It seemed like it was too small, like the facing was not as wide as the actual neckline.
Yeah, like the length from here to here, the facing was smaller than that.
That's right, yes. And we both tried numerous times, but neither of us could get the facing to fit in there.
No. So in the end, we decided that we would put a bias binding around it, and I think that has worked quite well, although it was a little bit difficult, like at the square bit, for me to get that around. And then after seeing Mum's, I decided to put lace around my neckline as well, and I'm really pleased with that. I think that it just adds a little bit of a something to it.
It does, yeah, I agree. Yeah. The other thing too is afterwards we were thinking about it, and had we been able to get the facing in, the neck would have been even wider because you would have had the seam allowance from the facing, so it would have even been worse, wouldn't it?
So as you can see, this is like a very large scale print, and I thought that if I put those puff sleeves in, that it would just be too much, and in the end I'm glad I did, because Mum doesn't like sleeves anyway. But so I just decided to put a bias binding around there as well. So it's sort of like sleeveless now, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy with that decision. I think that
it does. It looks really pretty. Yeah.
Although I had an idea that a cap sleeve would look really nice on this dress.
Yes, it would.
Sort of actually a similar sleeve to what was on the 6696.
Yes. Yeah.
So mine has got the ties coming out of the princess seams, which I actually think that's a really nice detail, coming out of the princess seams instead of the side seams.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
And I am really happy with this dress. I like the sort of width of the skirt. I think that it's got some nice sort of swish to it. And I like the length. I took a reasonable hem off of it. I think that it's really nice. The only thing is I do think that the neckline is too wide for me. And it sort of like comes out a little bit after you've worn it for half an hour. So probably not even that long. It sort of just comes out. So I'm not really sure how you would change that, but I love this dress so much. I really want it to fit right.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
I really want to work out how to change it so that it can fit me better, because I think that's such a beautiful design.
Oh, it is. And, we've wanted to make a vintage dress for a while. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I forgot to mention that because I raised the skirt panels, it's a little shorter than I'd like. So when I make it again, I'll have to lengthen the skirt panels just a little bit to compensate for that. Yeah.
Another detail on here that I think is really nice is it's actually got darts here, which I'm not really sure what they do, but I just thought that that was quite a nice detail to have in there.
So overall, we're both quite happy with the dresses we've made, and we're looking forward to making another one and just tweaking those few things to get a slightly better fit.
I think that once we've fixed those things, I think that it's actually going to be its real staple dress.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
So we haven't seen what Katrina's made, so we're really excited to head over to her channel and see what she's made. So we'll have her channel linked down in the video description, so make sure you go and check it out. I'm sure that she'll have made something beautiful.
Yes. Until next time, happy sewing. And then there was the what's that thing called? the ease, yes.